Okay, this video is going to be learning how to problem solve using Trig. So just a reminder that with cosine rule, we use side, 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 or side, angle, side. And sine rule is angle, angle, side, or side, side, angle, where you're given two sides and an angle. Now with cosine or with sine rule, excuse me, there is what we call an ambiguous case. We are not going to talk about that today. That will be in a future lesson. So these today, all of the sine rules will be, they will not be ambiguous cases. Okay, so let's take a look at our first example. The angle of elevations to the top of a mountain are measured from two beacons, A and B at C, and the measurements are shown in the diagram. If the beacons are 1473 meters apart, how high is the mountain? Okay, so let's think about this. We want to find the height of the mountain. That's our end goal. And we do have a right triangle here, but the problem is I don't know any of these sides to be able to use SOHCAHTOA. Like, that's just not possible. So instead, what we can do is we can find this side, this hypotenuse would be helpful. If I knew the hypotenuse, I would be able to use right triangle trig to find the height. So how do we do that? Well, I can find this angle right here because I know that this 41.2 plus this angle on the other side is going to be 180 degrees. And so if I subtract 180 minus 41.2, I end up with 138.8. So this angle right here is 138.8. And if I know these two angles, then I can find this angle T up here, angle ATB. So when I subtract those from 180, basically 180 minus our 138.8 and minus our 29.7, I end up with 11.5. So the measure of angle ATB is 11.5. So now I know the three angles, and I also know that AB is 1473. It told me that right up here. And so I can use my sine rule to find this x right here. So I would have the sine of 11.5 is to 1473 as the sine of 29.7 is to x. And then just like we solve our sine rule, we have to cross multiply. So x sine of 11.5 is equal to 1473 times the sine of 29.7. And then we need to divide both sides by the sine of 11.5. So that cancels, and I find that x is 3,660.62. Okay, so now that we know x, I have this triangle going on. This is h, this is my 3660.62, and this is 41.2. So I have the sine. If we think SOHCAHTOA, because this is a right triangle, I can use SOHCAHTOA, I have sine. So I could say the sine of 41.2 is equal to my opposite, which is h, over my hypotenuse, which is 3660.62. And so then when we multiply this here, we end up with h is equal to 3660.62 times the sine of 41.2. And when we put that in our calculator, our h is 2,411.21 meters. So that is the height of the mountain. So notice we used our law of sine to be able to find that hypotenuse to then be able to use SOHCAHTOA. So a multi-step problem here, but we're able to use our knowledge over our law of sine and our SOHCAHTOA to be able to find that missing part.